And we are live. I'm Jeff with Beer Drinkers of the Bible Fetish.
I'm Matt.
And if I don't hit
Bible Fetish.
And if I don't hit this intro real quick and Mike's watching, he's going to get mad at me. So here goes our intro.
Drink and he made it out of hops.
And we're back. Isn't that cool? You guys like that intro?
I never get bored of that intro.
You never get bored of it?
No, it's just like, where did you come up with that?
I just made it. I made it one day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. Yeah, I think it's I think it was the three of us and Hillary and who's our president now? Trump. If you look, those are actually the bobbleheads.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was kind of funny.
That's funny.
So it's got Hillary and Trump drinking beers together.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
they need to have a drink together.
Like that'll ever really happen, huh?
That'd be funny as hell, though.
You know. So we're here. We're Beer Drinkers of the Bible Fetish. We're here to stir up some crap and talk a little bit about the Bible and
stir up the pot.
Stir the pot. Maybe entertain you a little bit or so. We got a couple different news stories we're gonna throw up there. But we're gonna start out with a beer here. I picked this up earlier tonight. It's the Dogfish Head. Now Dogfish Head, to tell you about it, they make one of my favorite IPAs. So, but I've never had this one. It just sounded kind of good.
Yeah.
We're drinking bigger beers tonight. So, although it is lower in alcohol, this one's 19.2 fluid ounces. So it's a big boy beer.
Right.
It is, let's see, Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale, a session sour. I'm not big into sours. How about you?
Depends on how it tastes, honestly, dude.
Yeah, me too. I'm usually not into sours.
I wonder if it's gonna have like a fruity type of.
Well, talked about some lemon or lime in here, and I'm into lime. So blissfully brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes.
I'm not into the sea salt though.
And sea salt. Well, you put salt. Sometimes people do that in their Coronas and stuff like that. So I don't even know what a black lime is. Is that like a rotten lime that fell on the ground? I mean, what is a black lime?
I have no idea.
I have no clue. So, and it's 4.9% alcohol. So we're not quite as much. Let's see. Ale brewed with lime and sea salt, basically. So
it looks kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's one of my favorite breweries, Dogfish Head. It's a small brewery, but it's one of my favorites. So
here we go.
Listen to this.
What's up?
That was sound, man.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, I am not into sours, but my initial, it's not too bad. It's not real bitter like some sours I've had.
No, I like it actually. I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty limey.
Yeah, but it kind of gives it like a kind of a tang.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
Kind of like a tangy aftertaste, like
the lime in it is pretty strong. Tastes like a beer. You know what? It tastes like I had a beer when I walked across Europe 5 years ago. At the end of every single day, we would walk and we'd have a shanty. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of summer shanty? Mm-mm. Okay, a summer shanty is basically beer with lime juice. And what they would do is they would literally take a glass and fill it up with quite a bit of lime juice inside this glass. I mean, you'd have, a good inch of lime juice in a beer. And then they would pour beer on top of it. We usually did a Spanish beer or something like that, a Pilsner or lager. And, dude, they were really good. But at the end of the day, when it's hotter than hell outside in the middle of summertime, that was some good beer.
Yeah?
At least I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I just drank a couple of those every day on the end of my walk. Of course, then you wake up the next...
made your feet feel better a little bit.
It did. And then, of course, you wake up the next morning and go, I'm never drinking again. And at the end of the day, you drank more beer. Beer is God's way of telling us that he loves us.
Yep.
Kind of like whiskey.
Whiskey's more my thing.
Whiskey's God's way of telling us he loves us, too.
Yeah. Mike forgot to bring...
He was going to bring you some whiskey tonight, too. Yeah.
And so I got to get on him for that.
Well, you do know why God invented whiskey, right? Keep the Irish from ruling the world.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't want the Irish rule in the world. I don't know. I see some glitching going on here. I don't know if we're having some issues.
Ow.
Oh, that kind of hurt my ears.
A little bit.
Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. Hopefully that'll keep the glitchiness down.
Ow.
We're having some technical difficulties here.
Hang on.
With our switchboard.
So, hey, what are we talking about tonight?
Might be time for a new mixing board. You know, there's a couple news articles I saw that were just kind of... We got some good ones. We got some bad ones. We have one that's just kind of funny as hell, which I found funny anyway. And I'm going to pull it up so it's in front of us as we're sitting there talking about it. It's Christians and exorcists protest witches hexing of Justice Kavanaugh with prayer. So
they were doing Kavanaugh and Trump. Obviously.
Yeah. So apparently last Saturday, there was a shop in Brooklyn, a witchcraft bookstore.
Okay.
And in this witchcraft bookstore, there was 60 people that were going to show up there to put a hex on Trump and Kavanaugh and his staff and whatever, So as I'm reading this, I'm reading. I'm like, whatever. Who cares? We'll do whatever you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So you're reading down the article. It's amazing this stuff makes the news anyway. I'm reading down the article, and it turns out that the local diocese there, one of the guys from the local diocese, decided that he thought this was really evil and didn't like this. So he sends over some priests and some people that specialize in exorcism to pray against them and basically do an exercise on Kavanaugh and Trump to keep this from happening. I'm like,
whatever. You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I'm reading this. I'm like, what
this is in the news?
This is in the news.
For the media to even build a story on that is completely ridiculous. And then
it's
almost like that should be in the comic section.
And then the church even pays attention to this. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, I understand that there's exorcisms, there's evil spirits and all, but let's get serious. I mean, come on. You're going to send over half your church staff to pray against these people that are just a bunch of kooks anyway? I mean, come on.
So, I don't know. Maybe they got a hit out of it.
This beer isn't too bad.
No, I like it.
Although I don't know if I'd drink like a 6-pack of them, but might get the bitter stomach, a little sour stomach. So I don't know if you caught it. I kind of wanted to bring this up today, too. I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. It was, I caught it on a podcast, and I've read it in some stories now about Elon Musk.
Okay.
And have you ever heard of Neuralink?
No.
Okay, Neuralink...
Or a little bit. I don't know what it is, though.
Okay, Neuralink... Elon Musk has this fear that AI is basically going to kill off humans.
Okay.
So artificial intelligence. Now, I did some work on some study on this, kind of reading what it was. AI is basically a computer that can learn from itself. That's really all AI is. So let's say a programmer programs it, and an AI computer can actually go out there and reprogram itself and make it better. Learn.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know if you heard about this. I think it was last year. Facebook actually had to shut down a project because they had made these artificial intelligent bots.
Yeah.
And they had there was 2 of them, and they looked very, very similar to humans, but they came up with with their own language and were speaking to each other in that language.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And they Facebook was like, we don't even know what to do with this.
They probably saw the bots probably saw the uselessness of Facebook going, yeah, this is stupid. Yeah. Turn off.
Yeah. But anyways, and so they shut the program down. But anyways, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Yeah. That's interesting that they would do that. You know, they had to shut Facebook down to clean out a bot.
Yeah.
You wonder if the bot's going to resurface. Well, what Elon was talking about was some of these new AIs are intelligent enough and have a self-preservation built into them that because they're connected to the internet, you know, that they could actually duplicate themselves basically somewhere else on another server elsewhere. And at that point in time, let's say they're destroyed on this one, they just pop back up. They have the ability to do this and to learn this.
It's all code anyway, so
And it's
it doesn't...
well, it's code that's relearning its code and is changing its own code and evolving.
Right.
So I thought it was interesting.
So he's terrified of that.
I thought the way it was interesting how he wants to link us to computers, basically be a cyborg. And of course, you got to understand Elon Musk is smoking dope while he's saying all this too. Actually, he said a lot of it before he did. So he was on a podcast smoking pot.
Really?
Oh yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk, this multi-billionaire just smoking pot. So anyway, he's sitting there hanging out, and he goes, and drinking whiskey too. They were drinking some good whiskey. Of course, he's a billionaire; he can afford some good whiskey.
Well, yeah.
But so he's
so is the person that he was interviewing.
Exactly. So
multi-billionaire too.
So he's sitting there hanging out. And he made a comment. He said, basically, we're all cyborgs right now. Excuse me. He said, think about it. We all have this. We all have one of these, right?
Okay.
In fact, mine has, like these cool sound effects that maybe I can do somewhere. I don't know. Maybe this broke. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a really...
We get birds and shit. So anyway, what he said is basically, he said, think about this. He goes, you're walking around with this thing with you all the time. You can look anything up you want. You have the knowledge of the world right here in a phone. That is a supercomputer at that point, right?
Right.
So you have become this. You've already melded with the computer to do this. His thing was the interface between us is slow. The old baud rate.
Well,
we're the old dial-up because we
fast enough. It's
no,
fast.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the interface of getting the knowledge from the phone to here.
Okay.
To be able to use. That knowledge is very slow, right? Because we got to key it up, we've got to look it up, we've got to do all this stuff, right? But we've already combined, the way he put it, with the computer already. So it's the interface between the two, the bandwidth, as he put it, is very slow. We have a slow bandwidth from phone to brain.
Yeah.
Very slow from phone to brain, right?
Okay. Even to look something up that you don't really know.
Yeah, phone to brain.
Takes a while.
And that's all changing anyway. The speed even of phones and all that, especially when 5G comes out.
Well, no. I'm not saying that. Like, let's say that you wanted to look something up, that you had an idea, and you went and you researched that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Elon Musk his ultimate goal is, well, you should just be able to think it. And
it's there.
Right.
And that's really what so that's your interface, right?
Right.
There. So what he's talking about is apparently a couple of years ago, he bought a company called Neuralink.
Okay.
Neuralink will actually be able to connect our brain directly with the brain to this. It was a company that was brought up by two guys. The reason they started this was it would help people who had brain damage and stuff like that to be able to function in society. Because now it would open up parts of their brain and their brain would do this, right? It's like they would interface with a computer. Think of who's that really intelligent dude that died recently? The physicist. And he would sit there talk like this because
Hawking.
Hawking, yeah. And he basically interfaced with that computer to talk, right? That's how he did it. This is what they're talking about, so it would be direct interface.
Well, but think about this though too. Have we been doing this for years? Think of cochlear implants.
Some of that stuff does, yes.
You know what I mean? Without that computer, without that chip, would children or would that person be able to hear?
That's right.
And the same thing with hearing aids.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing aids is just a glorified little microcomputer.
Well, the implant, the implant directly on the brain to hear something. It's now directly in.
Right.
And that's just sit there
But
mapping.
we don't think about that, though. But we're like, oh my gosh, well, they can't imprint on my brain or whatever. Well, has it really
already kind of
been
are.
done?
So I was reading this. They've actually come up with a way of doing an injection into your brain, and it basically unravels and connects itself to your brain. They're already doing this
like a symbiote.
Yeah, they're already doing this in lab mice and stuff like that, right? And then they're killing the lab mice, they're opening it up to see the effects on the brain, right? And apparently it doesn't really have side effects. But that will be able to connect wirelessly directly to it. This is what this dude's coming out with. I mean, and according to him, he's only a few months off of making a huge announcement.
Well,
I mean, wow. When I sat and I saw this, I'm like, when I started doing research on it, it was like, this is almost kind of scary stuff. I mean, you talk about sci-fi stuff.
Well,
I'll tell you, I don't want to be the first guy to get one.
No, neither do I. It would be kind of weird.
I want 2.0 or 3.0. I don't want 1.0. I don't want version 1.0.
Okay.
You know, unless they could upgrade versions, 1.0 to 2 and 3 and 4. Here's what he said. This is why he said it. Because AI is developing so quickly and so fast that...
But this wouldn't be anything to do with AI.
This is the reason he's doing it. Is because AI itself is developing so quickly and so fast and being put in places of control of the internet, control of defense systems, control of all this. AI is being put in these defense systems. How long is it going to take before it's in a robot or something like that that's way faster than us, way smarter than us because it grows and learns,
so it's
then decides we're useless.
It's pretty much like a cyborg.
Yeah.
Exactly. A human and computer.
That's what we would become.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's just the computer, it gives us the advantage. At least we have some reasoning that the computer may not have, the AI. So
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, as I've studied this and looked at it, it's like it's kind of scary sci-fi stuff.
And the thing about it is, I mean, we're beer drinkers with the Bible Fetish. What does the Bible say about that?
I don't know.
Too.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I mean, you can say all you want about this phone or whatever. This phone is not in my body.
No.
At all. If I want to disengage from that, I can
put it down.
Put it down and walk away from it. And it would be hard, but I do not have to look at that thing ever again.
Yeah.
But if you're connected all the time, right?
Can you flip a switch? No, turn off. Let's see. I have.
But then, do you really flip?
I have iPhone mode and I have dumb phone mode, flip phone.
Right.
I mean, which do I want to do? It's like.
So.
It's like I have a sister-in-law that used to say she has a dumb phone. Because she didn't have a smartphone, she couldn't look things up.
A lot of the CEOs
carry dumb phones.
Carry dumb phones, so they don't want to deal with the crap. Yeah. They don't want to be constantly checking their emails or constantly doing
on Facebook
or whatever it is. And I'm guilty of it too. I check my email every hour.
I mean, it's an addiction for people. It truly is. I mean, how many people? I almost hit a guy the other day. Just
playing your game.
No. I wasn't. He was walking along just on his phone, and I can't tell you how many people I've seen where I've stood there. I've seen somebody coming at me on their phone, and I stand there and I look at them, and I watch them as they come closer and just run into me, and I'm a big guy, so they just kind of, and you'll see them like, oh, and the real rude ones will look at me like it's my fault, like I ran into them, and I'm just like. All I'm doing is standing here. If I was a pole, you would have still hit me. Or a wall, you'd have ran in me. So
the thing, or another question is on the whole cyborg Elon Musk thing, what about students in the academic world?
Here's the thing. You could colleges would become obsolete.
Yeah.
Schools would become obsolete because once your brain's developed to a point of being able to do
access anything that you want.
It's the old
But then could you switch it off and then that person would go back to
I don't think it can ever be switched off. Once you have it, it's knowledge in the brain. It's now stored. It's storing it because the brain has now stored that knowledge. It's Neo. In the movie,
It's Nero or whatever.
Neo. I know Kung Fu. Show me. And he's downloading Jiu-Jitsu. I know Jiu-Jitsu. It's like you just download it into your brain.
So it can't be.
I want to learn Spanish.
No. What I'm saying is let's say that there was an on-off switch to where you could necessarily take it out or whatever. Would you go back to?
Who would want to? There's a question.
Yeah.
Once you have all this knowledge, why would you ever want to go back? And then at that point too, could it become an addiction to where you want more and more? And then who controls what knowledge is out there and then puts a virus in to make you stand stupid anyway and wipes everything out? We have computer viruses.
Yep. So why couldn't this work as a virus inside us, or why couldn't this turn us into the real cyborg?
Somebody that just follows somebody else. That's the problem too. It's the whole idea of it, I think, is what he's calling for, which I think is kind of interesting, is some sort of regulation.
I mean, it's a cool technology. Don't get me wrong, but
it's happening. So we have no choice. This stuff is happening.
Yeah.
So one of the things that he's calling for, Elon called for on this podcast I was listening to, was he thinks there needs to be some oversight committee that he doesn't believe in regulation. He says, I don't believe in a lot of regulation on stuff. He goes, but I'm sorry, this stuff has to be regulated somehow because it's progressing so much. The problem is when you start putting government regulation into it, what are they going to do? They're going to put a committee out there to study it, and then they're going to go back and talk about it. Then they've got the oversight committee, and then they go back and they make some rules, and then they see if the rules work. And then, so you're 10 years down the road. 10 years down the road, it's too late.
Right.
It's already there and moving.
So, okay. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's something that he made a comment that he actually had a meeting with Obama and spent the entire day with him when Obama was still president. The entire day with him talking about AI and some of this stuff and how it needs to be regulated. Mm-hmm. And he said he completely agreed. Obama did. But how do you go about that? What does that look like? You know? And do you have government regulated who's a bunch of fucking morons that doesn't know anything about it? So does it have to be regulated by its own industry, or is it regulated by an oversight body maybe from the how do you do this?
Right.
You know? Because otherwise you do have somebody writing control programs.
Now here's another question too. That's just kind of off topic. Would there be, like, let's say that I was a cyborg and you were a cyborg. Okay. Well, we both think differently. You have a different physics mind or a different math mind. Could you, with your computer, your or whatever it is, tailor that to become like a more, I don't want to say more powerful cyborg, but like, or vice versa? Could I do that with my strengths? Does that make sense, kind of?
I would think so. But then again, too, here...
And it would grow to learn what you liked and what you didn't like. So it would be like... It wouldn't be...
Just starts downloading shit.
I watched a video on this past week. It's not me anymore. It's we.
Yeah. Yeah. You become a collective.
Yeah. Because
it's the board, Star Trek board.
Yeah.
You're a collective.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the Borg were in Star Trek. They were half human, half machine that could be programmed to go do whatever by the cube.
Yeah.
You're probably too young for that.
No, I don't remember any of that.
Oh, that was a great episode, dude. That was one of the movies from back in the 90s or something, Star Trek. So it was one of the more modern movies, but the Borg.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, you know, could someone with a higher IQ or a higher level of, you know, whatever it is, or English or whatever that looked like, could that, I don't want to say like bot or computer or whatever it is that was placed inside you that, you know, integrated into your brain, could it learn and could it tailor to you specifically? And so then, let's say that someone wanted to take over, well, they couldn't necessarily take over you because you had this superior... You know what I mean?
It's just that too. But here's the thing too. Let's say you're not mathematically inclined, like we talked about. You're not an analytical personality. Could you become that way by downloading math? All of a sudden, you're like Nero, where all of a sudden you're the smartest person when it comes to physics.
But here's the thing, though, you
don't have the personality for it, but
exactly, and the mind, I don't want to say the mind. I guess personality is a correct word.
Do we lose control of our own minds at that point too?
Right. Or does that enhance our
personality? What it is, I don't know. See, I think these are all questions that are going to be really interesting, and it's all happening. It's all in progression and moving that way. So eventually, we're going to have answers to all these questions. I think we're going to see answers to these questions.
Yeah.
You know, here's something that he made a comment about too. That could you basically download your own mind somewhere else onto a computer, you know, now we're getting really sci-fi, and then put that mind into a robot or something else down the road, and now it's you. What happens to the soul?
What if you could download beer?
Just sit and download beer?
Yeah. And you could have the taste.
You have the taste, whatever you want. And you just sit there and go,
I want this beer.
And all of a sudden you're going, damn, that's good stuff. All the whiskeys you can't afford and stuff, it's like, that's what it tastes like.
I like the bite.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Oh. Yeah, I mean, just imagine that. I mean.
Yeah, and I get it. You know, do you lose... are we at that point where
Do you lose personality?
Yeah.
I mean, I sit there and as more I've looked into this, I think it's great for the person that, you know, the initial intent, the disabled person. But then you always have like AI where it's learning itself. The problem is you get governments involved that want power, and now they want to weaponize this stuff, and you know they already are. I mean, there's a new. I was watching something on this. We've seen stealth fighters, or not stealth. We've seen the drones that fly over and drop bombs, right? Little propeller drones. We see them all in the news. They fly over, they drop bombs, right? That's a 20-year-old. That's 20-year-old technology. It's old. The new drones are jet. The new drones are invisible. They're invisible to the eye. I'm not talking radar stealth. They're invisible to the eye.
Okay.
Now, you may think, well, how can it be invisible? I can't see
camouflage, or do they blend in?
What they do is they have cameras on top as they're flying. The bottom of it is high density, high output LEDs. So high definition LED.
Okay.
So as it's flying, it's processing what's straight above it at whatever angle it is, whatever you'd be seeing.
And probably what's straight below it too.
And whatever angle.
So it mimics that?
It mimics that on the bottom side.
Okay.
So it flies over you, and you can't see it. There's no visual on this thing because it's got the cameras at all the angles processing it on all the LEDs on the bottom.
That was brilliant, whoever came up with that idea.
Oh, and by the way, it carries a bunch of bombs, flies by itself, has a 2,000-mile range, and can land on an aircraft carrier by itself with nobody flying it. It does totally everything by itself. It can drop its bombs better than the person that they're using now. It does it, figures out where it needs to go, and just does it. It's complete AI and has the ability to learn how to kill better the next time. Because it learned what it did last time.
Yeah.
And from all the other resources it's looking at. So it's seeing, being beamed to it, all the camera angles, you know, from the satellite images.
No, I totally
it knows
get
it
it. I mean,
so
there's tons of movies on it.
Yeah.
You know? And so it learns from itself to better itself.
But to weaponize something, can you imagine having that thing come flying over? Okay, we're going crazy here.
Ow.
Yeah, that kind of hurts. So this thing comes flying over you, and you don't even know it. And all of a sudden, you got a bomb flying at you. The fuck did that come from? This is where technology's going. Yeah. So now you put that in charge of a supercomputer, who's now controlling that.
Yeah.
When does it determine that mankind is a waste of time? Hey, these idiots are on Facebook all the time. What the fuck is wrong with them?
Right.
They're fighting each other. They're blowing each other up. They're dumb as hell. Let's just get rid of them. They're destroying this planet. We don't need that. Remember,
right.
You have self-preservation. They destroy the planet. It destroys us. Why are we still have them?
Right. No, I totally get that.
It was interesting. Damn, I think it's one of my cables here. So Elon Musk talked about it. He said when he really took a fatalistic, he changed his point of view on AI. And that's what made him change his progression on it, which I thought was interesting. Excuse me. He said that when he took a fatalistic point of view towards AI, that's when he decided to progress it and embrace it.
It's funny. There's this part in this horror movie. It was Will Smith that was in the movie, and it was called I, Robot. It came out years ago.
That's a great movie, actually.
It was alright.
Really? I thought it was pretty good.
Well, yeah, and it's about what we're talking about right now. You know, artificial intelligence, blah blah blah. Well, there's a part where he's fighting this robot, and the robot like comes down at him, and he throws up his arm, and he blocks the punch, and the robot and the arm just kind of sits there, and the robot looks at it like stunned, and you can see on his arm it's
he was
metal,
half robot,
and he goes, yeah, bitch, and then he just punches the robot.
That was an awesome scene.
Yeah, but it's like he was
half robot.
Yeah, he was a cyborg, and that's what it took to take
out
on everything else. And so because the regular, obviously humans couldn't.
Yeah, we're frail.
Yeah.
I mean, we really are. We're pretty frail.
So, anyways,
Compared
I just thought that was kind of
compared to
funny.
this hunk of metal, we're pretty frail. I mean, you think about it. This little hunk of metal could cut you and kill you.
That is correct.
So,
But I mean, look. Well, there's been movies on it for a long time. Look at animals. I mean, Planet of the Apes.
yeah,
Apes are way stronger than
They are.
humans.
they are.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
So-
I'm about. We want to rate this beer?
Sure, I'm almost
Are you done? Okay.
Almost.
I'm going to compare this to a what did I call it earlier? The whatever it was, the ones I was having with the lime and beer there, the shanties.
Okay.
I'm going to compare this to a shanty. So if you guys know what a shanty is, I would definitely compare this to a shanty. It's very very limey,
Yeah.
very much lime taste.
No real kind of, I don't want to say beery flavor, but no Budweiser kick or
Yeah.
anything like that.
And
That
it's
makes
got
sense,
the
kinda?
aftertaste of the salt.
Yeah.
You can taste it's in
sea salt.
Yeah, the sea salt in an aftertaste. It's definitely there.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering. I would say the lime's not really overpowering either.
No, the lime is pretty solid.
This would be a great summer beer. This really would. Summer, it's hotter than shit outside.
Sorry to get off topic. Just on Coronas. You know
Yeah.
how Corona's always, lemon or whatever.
Yeah.
You know that in Fast and the Furious, Corona didn't pay them a dime to be in all of their movies. It was just free public advertising because Vin Diesel liked Corona.
Likes Corona. That's awfully nice of him. Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm gonna advertise for free for you. So yeah, I mean it's just turn your mic up a little bit here. So yeah, it's I'm not gonna give this.
It's a good beer.
I'm not gonna give it a
but
2.
No.
I won't definitely go a 2 on it, but I'm gonna.
I'll do a 1.5 probably.
You know 1.5.
Ish.
I would go myself if I can do like a 1 1/3. I would
Okay.
like a 1 1/4, 1 1/3. But you know what? I'm gonna go probably. If it was summertime now, I'd probably enjoy this more. If it was hotter and shit outside, but it's colder. It's not as much. I'm gonna go like a 1.5. I'm gonna go 1.5 also.
Okay.
So
3.
So let's get a 3. So
three.
that's not
pretty
too
good.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
pretty solid.
So you want to grab our next one?
Okay.
We do have one more we're gonna do. So we're drinking a lot of ounces tonight, but again, this one's only 4.9, so it's not too high. My next one that we got, I got a little bit. I got a stronger one. I don't know if it's alcohol stronger. Oh no, I got this one because I just like the name of it. I thought it was funny as hell. I thought I'd have a dark one. I thought I brought it with tonight, but I got a BFD. It's like a big fucking deal is what it is. Or what they want to call it. This is just beer for drinking. Isn't all beer for drinking?
Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, this is a Sierra Nevada.
Black, casually crushable.
Yeah,
Ugh.
casually
Sorry.
crushable beer for drinking.
1 pint.
It is. It's a bigger beer too. 19.2. What was the last one? 19.2. So we're doing little tall cans tonight.
1 pint. I was watching a movie the other
Actually,
day.
it's 1 pint plus 3.2 ounces.
I was watching a movie the other day, and this guy, it was kind of like old fashioned. This guy was drinking, I don't know what it was, like a quart or whatever, and his friends comes over with a pint. They serve him in pints? I'm getting one. He's like, and the friend was like, you already have a bunch of beer right there.
That's awesome. So Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, Chico, California, Mills River. Does it
Family owned, operated, and argued over. That's funny.
Yeah, argued over. I thought that was great too. Hey, whenever you're around family, what do you do? Argue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family's always a fight. I don't care what it is. We always argue, but that's what you do with family. You're supposed to argue and fight and then love each other at the end.
Mm.
Or like some families, argue and fight and not talk to each other for years. I have no idea what the ABV on this is. It does not give it whatsoever. So we could be drinking like a, it is an ale, but we could be drinking like a 2.0 beer or 3.2, Utah type beer. Or we can be drinking a, pick us up
Alcohol
off the floor.
content?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? 4.8.
But where do you see that at?
Right here on the side.
Okay, so they're both pretty low then. The last one's 4.9. This one's 4.8. I still don't see where you're seeing that, but
Right
okay.
here. Look. Alcohol.
Okay, 4.8. There it is. All right.
Right, get no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Here we go. The sound.
Oh, yes.
Salute.
Cheers. Salute. Be familiar.
All right. Oh, yeah. Tap it. That way it spews everywhere when you drink it. Okay. Beer for drinking it because it's a big fucking deal.
Definitely totally different from that one.
Oh, this is way different.
Yeah.
We needed to be eating those pretzels we got up here in between this because this is like, wow. This is it's
definitely, I don't want to say like more stouty, but more stouty than that for sure.
Yeah, this is the summer beer.
This is like the dark.
This is
not really dark, but I can't even really compare it to dark.
This is white wine.
But,
this is red wine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes.
That's pretty much the two right there. It's kind of got an IPA kind of taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's kind of, even though it's an ale, you can really taste the hops.
Yeah, and you can taste, it's almost like, it is a darker beer.
It
I
is.
can tell.
Well, looking at it doesn't look dark. Of course, we didn't pour it in cans, in glasses, but wow, it's actually not bad. It's definitely a stronger beer.
Yeah.
Taste-wise, more of a bite.
Yeah, you can definitely.
It's the
It's
hops
not
that are
like
doing
well, I don't want to say this one was a fruity beer, but it did have the lime and the citrusy, and you could definitely taste that in there. Where this one's kind of more
beer,
refined, kind of that woodsy type of like
beer.
This is beer. Yeah,
beer. It's a.
I like beer because it is good. I like beer because I should.
It's beer. We'll get it right. It's a big fucking deal. That's what they should have called it. Wouldn't that have been awesome? Big fucking deal. Just put it in parentheses underneath. I bet you, you know what? How much you want to bet? Around the keg, when they're sitting there brewing this stuff, the guy that came up with it, he actually said that, he goes, and why are you making that? It's a big fucking deal, man.
Bet you he did.
And he's sitting there drinking it, he goes, BFD. It's a big fucking deal. But then they have to turn around and figure out, okay, BFD. They got to say that to the marketing crew.
Oh, do they?
And the marketing crew then has to figure out
to agree to it.
No. They have to come up with beer for drinking because he came up with BFD. You know, the guy that probably made the beer came up with BFD and goes, I'm making this because it's a big fucking deal. That's why it's a BFD.
Right.
But then it goes to marketing. They're like, you can't say that. You can't say that. What the hell?
Right.
It's like that Jack in the Box commercial. Have you ever seen the Jack in the Box commercial where he's talking about his size?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy and the marketing guy's going,
Yeah.
You just can't say that, Jack. You can't talk about your size. He's all, you mean like that? He's all, yeah, that's what I mean. You can't do that, right? So, you know, marketing hits this and goes, we can't say that. We gotta come up with something new. How about beer for drinking?
It's not a big fucking deal. How about beer for drinking?
Yeah. You know, they probably did something like that. It's marketing. Come on.
Yeah.
But what's the things you can't say on TV or anything, you know?
I don't know anymore now, man. You can pretty much say whatever you want.
No, there's still the 7 words. It was the comedian that used to say that. Shit, fuck, damn, piss, hell.
You can
Of
say
course,
hell.
they can say hell now. Shit, fuck, damn, piss, hell. It was like
You could say damn.
boobs and tits or something.
You could say boobs and tits.
This
You can
was-
say ass.
This was like years ago.
Okay.
So there was a comedian that used to talk about that, the 7 words you can't say on TV.
And racial stuff, I would imagine, too.
It may have been like ass or something, too. Something stupid. He's like, excuse me, at the end he's like, and you can't say ass. And then he would go on and on talking about ass, you know? So, yeah, he was a great comedian. One of you guys know out there, put it on there. It'll come to me later. Funny as hell. He's dead now.
Huh.
Older guy. Great comedian.
What was
Bodies.
that?
That's supposed to be a campfire.
Yo, this beer kind of reminds me of, like, We should be drinking it around the campfire.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
It does. Around, in the woods or something like that, or just got done fishing or something.
Dude. Oh, here's dry fire. I don't know what dry fire sounds like.
No.
The hell
Not
is
that.
It's a gunshot.
It's
Gunshot dry
yeah.
fire. I'm like, what the hell is that?
I went and looked
Yeah,
at
that
some
was
guns
a
this
fail.
weekend.
You did what now?
I went and looked at some guns this weekend.
Did ya?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about getting?
Revolver.
Are you?
So, yeah. 357, but the governor is
Really?
nice.
The judge or governor?
The governor.
Have
The
you
governor is the Smith and Wesson version of the judge.
Okay. Have you ever looked at a judge, dude?
Yeah, I said the judge is awesome.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Shotgun
410
shells.
410 shotgun shells and a damn revolver.
In the car.
Are you feeling lucky, boy? Is this your lucky day?
Yeah.
I mean, man.
So.
Have you ever shot one? Actually shot one? Oh, aren't they nice to shoot? I had a buddy that had one. I took it out there and I was shooting it with him. Dude, that thing just about ripped your hand off shooting that thing.
Yep. Now, my pop was looking at one too. He wants the either 38 or 357, but he wants to get it with the hammer. So because without the hammer, you pull the trigger, it's a 13-pound pull.
Okay.
When you cock the hammer, it's only a 3-pound pull.
Oh.
And so it's a lot less.
So you guys are learning a little bit more about us. Not only are we beer drinkers with a Bible fetish, but we like to shoot too.
We have to blow shit up.
We like to blow shit up. I think we talked about blowing shit up though. So Mike and I one time. So I took Mike camping one time. I go camping with my son every single year, and so we're in the middle of Death Valley. We're shooting guns. We brought a bunch of tannerite out, so we're blowing stuff up.
Guys.
So I'm taping tannerite. You ever shoot tannerite?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taping the tannerite to propane bottles.
Okay.
That's awesome, dude. So I'm sitting there shooting these propane bottles with tannerite attached to it. Huge explosion. Now, I've blown propane bottles up before and shot at them and stuff. So anyway, we sat there and I put a propane bottle in the fire. We got this huge fire. It's probably 10 feet high, and I've got 3 or 4 propane bottles on it. And I'm standing there, and I've got my 9 out, and I hand it to one of the guys there who's drunk off his butt. And I'm like, hit the propane bottle. And he's looking at me going, he's okay. So he's shooting him, and he's trying to hit this thing, right? And Mike tells the story great, too, because I'm like, let me have that damn thing. So I look at it, and I aim it. I turn around, and I aim this thing at the propane bottle. Then I turn around and look at them, and I'm like, this is how you do it, damn it. And I pulled the trigger, and I hit it. I don't know how I did it. To tell you the truth, I really don't. It's just steady hand, I guess. I hit it direct, and it blew up. This thing blows up. I skimmed it. Now, I didn't hit it direct. I mean, I say I hit it direct. I hit it just on the side to where it pierced it. It takes off in a spin with a fireball behind it and hits the side of a rock. You know, we're in the desert. You're not going to blow anything. What are you going to burn out in the desert? A cactus? I mean, there's nothing out there where we're at to really burn. So we don't worry about, actually lighting the desert on fire. You couldn't do this in the forest, obviously.
Right. So. When I was, I think I was like 13, 14 years old. I grew up in suburbia Las Vegas. Grew up on a cul-de-sac, and we always had dirt bikes and stuff like that. And with dirt bikes, you have the 5-gallon gas cans, right? And so it's 4th of July, big old bash we're doing. And so me and my friends, right, of course, take a Piccolo Pete, take all the gunpowder out of it, pound the rest of the Piccolo Pete's, the gunpowder out of them, and we put it in the one Piccolo Pete. Then our wise asses decide to light the wick, because we had extended the wick, light that wick and put it right on top of the 5-gallon
Did it explode?
Oh yeah.
So
it exploded. Yeah, it was a big boom, and everybody kind of, because we weren't down around the corner, we were down a little ways, and we all take off running when we light the wick, and then everyone's kind of like looking. Of course, they're drunk as hell too. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Ba-boom!
Okay, I'm going to throw a disclaimer out there. Don't try this at home.
Yeah,
kids.
don't try this at home.
Yeah, don't try any of this at home.
It was fun.
We never did any of this. These are just stories that we read on the internet. So anyway, I remember one time. Remember one time at band camp? No, I remember. I don't know why I said it. Okay, so we're out there one time when I was out with Mike, actually one time too. So we're out there, and one of the things I'd love to do out there, and I've done this several times, but one of the things we'd love to do is I'll take a 5-gallon gas can, and I'll throw a little bit in the fire to start a stream, and then we run as fast as we can, trailing gas out of the gas can the entire time.
Does it light?
Well, yeah, it's trailing behind you. The fire's chasing you, right?
Okay.
So you're dropping gas out of a nozzle on the ground, the fire's following you, and the object is to stay in front of the fire and don't let it catch the can.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That just sounds stupid. My dad would be like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So a buddy of mine's doing this one time. We're out there. Mike saw me doing that, right? I'm trailing gas all over the place, and I'm doing this. And he's like, you're crazy, dude. You're just crazy. This is the first time he's really been camping. Mike's not a camper. Now Mike doesn't normally camp, but he decided to go camping with me. He's like, yeah, that's
fucking nuts.
Yeah, but he's also like, camping's so fucking awesome. You know, he's like,
right.
Because he's thinking that's what camping's like every time. No, normally camping's like kind of mellow. We don't we just do little fires. We don't blow the place up. So, but anyway.
Jumping over the fire?
Jumping over the fire. Oh, yeah, of course we do that too. Yeah. So we jump over the fire. Oh, man. Oh, another thing. Don't try this at home. It's a little more. I've never done this before. But what we do is we take quart beer bottles. I don't know if you've ever done this before. Take a quart beer bottle, drink the beer,
okay,
and then fill it up with gasoline when you're done.
Okay.
Now you don't make it like a Molotov cocktail. No, like a screw top.
Okay.
Like a screw top, like a Budweiser or something with a screw top. So you'll fill that up with gas, put the top back on it, and then set it in the fire.
Oh boy.
And just let it go, and sit back. Most people think it's going to blow up, it's explosion, all this stuff. No. If you reuse the bottle like the third or fourth time, then it does, because we've done that. We kick it out, we look for the top because we don't want to, because we fill them back up again and reuse them. That's a bad idea, but We've done that. We've never done this, by the way. Yeah. What we do is, what it does, it eventually just builds up enough pressure. When I first started doing this, we would poke a little pinhole in the top of it to try of the cap, just a pinhole. After experimenting, we discovered we really didn't have to. But what somebody told me when we first started doing this, you had to put a little pinhole in it. And you watch it kind of build pressure. You kind of. I think it's more of a warning. You kind of see it popping off a little bit because it starts to build that pressure of the gas in there. Because liquid gas doesn't burn.
Right.
Gas has to be vaporized in order to burn. So what happens though is it builds up so much pressure in there, it blows just the cap off. It won't blow the bottle up because the cap is the weakest point. So it blows the cap off. This cap will shoot straight in the air about 300 feet with a flame behind it. And the sound it makes is so awesome. It's like one of those, it's like a fire gun, like a blow, just.
That's cool.
That's what it does, and it lights everything up. This thing got to go like 300 feet in the air.
Okay.
Just until that quart of gas is gone. Then you're like, that is so cool.
That's so fucking awesome.
Get the bottle out. Who's going to drink the next quart beer? And you're just sitting there and you're ready to do it again. It's just, I've never done this before. I read this. I saw it on YouTube once. That's my disclaimer.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is fun to do. But this is guys being guys. This is the kind of stuff we do, Yeah. Did I tell you we're beer drinkers with a Bible fetish?
No.
But then we get up in the morning, and what do? We read our Bibles and pray.
We do.
Actually, we do. Even out there.
Yeah. No, I started a new routine, man.
Pray we're not going to burn ourselves up that day.
I'm doing 2 days at the gym now.
Nice.
Well, 2 days working out, and so I get up, I have 1 cup of coffee, I read my Bible, pray, do a little bit, 20, 25 minutes, and then I go on a run, and then usually that only lasts, I usually go anywhere from 3 to 5 miles, come back, I eat a big breakfast, I've upped it to 5 eggs now.
Wow.
And so
you doing the yolks too, or just the whites?
Yolks too.
Yolks too.
The whole thing. And then I dice up some lunch meat and some tomatoes. Throw that in there. Sometimes I throw some avocados, but not really. And then after that, depending on what I have that day, I'll go to work or whatever it is I have. Mm-hmm. But then if I'm off that day, I'll go to the gym usually in a couple hours, and I'll just do weights there.
Okay.
And then, but here's the thing, though. Here's the kicker. I started doing 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna because I heard on a podcast that 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna is, like, unbelievable for your health. And
is.
so,
It is, yeah.
so it's generally like an hour 20 at the gym, and then the other 20 to 35 minutes running.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I like it. So, but it is 2-a-days, so it is kind of crazy.
If you didn't know, we actually have a half marathon we're doing here coming up. Are you doing the half also with us, with Mike and I?
I'm doing the search and rescue one.
Oh,
$5K.
You're doing the 5K.
I haven't signed up for it yet. Like, I remember how I signed up last year.
Yeah, you got to
late.
sign up for it. So
I signed up late last year. So
yeah, I'm actually the flag behind us. You can see the orange. Mike talked about it last week. If you want to know what that is, that's search and rescue. I actually do search and rescue. So I'm hosting a 5K coming up here as a charity run for us. In fact, you know what? Now that I plugged it a little bit, I might as well throw the link to it. I'll throw it up on the bottom when you see it. I'll throw a link up there if you guys want to sign up. So I'd love to see some of you guys out there.
Yeah, it'd be
if
cool.
you show up, say, I saw you on Beer
drinkers with the Bible Fetish,
Yeah,
and you guys were fucking crazy.
You're nuts, dude. Okay, last year I ran it. So did you. I got
so
you
did
to
I,
do it too.
yeah.
But no, the vest.
No, you gave me. No, you gave me. I was like, do you have your vest, Jeff? And he's like, well, yeah, of course I do. He's like, give it to me. And I was like, I'm not going to live this down if I don't run it with the vest.
Well, I think you did my backpack, didn't you?
I did. It was a 30-pound vest, and then you did the
I did my 40
flag.
I did my 40-pound vest, and you did the 30-pound backpack.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's right. And then I also carried a flag
Yeah.
and an AED.
Yep.
So
I ran the whole thing, though. I'm proud to say that.
that's
So
nice.
with
Yeah.
30-pound back. And then the people are with halfway through because it's around an entire park.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go twice around the whole park. About halfway through, I was running with 2 or 3 other people. They're like, "Oh fuck it, let's go to the car and drink really quickly." and they were like, well, won't Jeff care? And I was like, no.
If you wanted to drink, I'm not going to care.
Jeff
Seriously.
won't care.
No, hell no.
But we did say that.
If I wasn't working the damn thing, I'd want to go get a drink too, you know. But I'm one of the ones putting it on, so I've got to kind of, this year we're gonna have we're gonna have some celebrities there, some local news people and stuff like that, just like we did last time for the announcements and emceeing it and.
No, it was a good
music and
time
everything
last
else.
time.
It'll be good.
So yeah.
It's in for you guys. Oh, jeez. Oh, for you guys out there, it's on November 3rd coming up, so another week and a half away.
Yeah.
So I will be out there in my orange uniform and hanging out. If you sign up, you get a orange shirt yourself. You get one of our bright orange shirts. They're kind of neon color.
They're cool. I wear them to the gym all the time.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt actually. It's pretty nice. So, but we're doing those again. I'm probably not going to run it this year because since I'm working it, I'm going to be doing timing. So we're doing electronic timing this year versus what we did last year. We're doing full electronic, so you'll have the bibs with the electronic timers in them. So we've kind of advanced ourselves.
There it is, man. The artificial intelligence taking over.
Artificial intelligence. I'll be wearing the timer. I'm the guy that's going to be wearing the timer, going, hey, you know, because it's one that you wear, and as people come across it, just kind of I time them.
Okay.
So it's electronically sending it to a computer. So I'm the cyborg with the vest on, the computer timing the thing back there.
Okay.
I'm the one communicating with the computer directly with this thing I'll be wearing.
All right.
I'm gonna have my cyborg. I should get a cyborg hat or something. That'd be awesome to sit at the end like that. Look like Star Trek. Like one of the Borg. Come over here. I will time you.
That's ultimately what we're gonna become.
The cyborg. Come over here. So we talked about it tonight to tell you how far AI is going.
But then, go ahead.
Even when it comes to and I'm not saying this is right or anything else, but even when it comes to sex, there's robots now. Robots for guys to have sex with.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of that?
So that's pretty crazy, I think. But I read articles on it years ago. Even comedians, blatantly said on interviews that they would rather jack off to porn than have sex with a female.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's pretty gnarly. That's where we've become nowadays.
It is
a society.
I don't think your hand is the same as a woman. Your hand doesn't talk back, but it's not the same. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
You know?
But the robots, again.
Yeah, but the robot's still not a woman either.
Right.
It's a piece of rubber.
Right.
It's a machine with rubber on it.
Right. No, I get that.
That's all it is.
We were talking tonight, there's that that company in Canada that came out with the first, I don't know if you guys have heard about this yet, it's the best way to describe it is a robot brothel.
Yeah.
Okay? And they've even introduced it to the U.S., and they're opening up in a couple months. Houston, and so it'll be the first robot brothel that has ever been introduced to
protesting it and everything.
Yeah,
else.
that has ever been introduced to the United States. Yeah. But if you think about it, I mean, it's really, I would imagine, sex dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
It's a sex doll that moves.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's crazy, and they have a real problem with it in the Middle East.
Do they really? With porn or with
everything? I know that they have a big problem with porn, but in a lot of South Korea, North Korea.
Okay, let's look at this in perspective here. So you have a guy that's got his neural link.
Okay.
He's tied to a computer, so he doesn't have to go anywhere to learn anything now. He doesn't have to go to school, right? He can sit and play video games all day long and learn to play them better because he can download everything immediately from the internet. He doesn't have to talk to people because he can probably connect to that directly to Facebook time or whatever it is involved with that. And then he's got his robot sitting there to have sex with.
So did you ever?
There is no need for people.
So get a load of this. There was a movie that came out. It was a horrible movie. It was with Gerard Butler. Believe it or not, it was after the whole 300 movement. And Dexter, did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
It was a TV show, but he was a serial killer. He was actually the evil guy in it. But the whole premise of the movie was basically it was dealing with like cyborgs and stuff like that. You could either pay to watch somebody do this, or you could be paid, and basically, like when you were paid, your mind would be taken over, and you would be whatever that individual that was paying you wanted you to be.
What were some of the examples in the movie?
Oh my gosh. Sex, drug, everything.
Wow.
That was imaginable. And so, and and you think about that, and it's like, well, I gotta make money, I gotta get paid, or whatever it was, and so I'm gonna go and do this or this or this, and so I'm gonna go sell myself, or it's really kind of getting weird, I think.
Man, it's interesting when we start. I mean, do we cease to become human when that happens?
Well, but here's the thing, though: do we become again like? The counter is, do we become like Star Trek or like Star Wars, and it's just kind of just morphs into our society like that? Because in I hate to say this, Star Wars is such a cliche movie, or I love it, but I mean they obviously deal with artificial intelligence all the time, and so and they work with it, and they're and they do the same thing in Star Trek, and that's just kind of how it is. But
remember, those were movies,
right?
This is becoming reality. So is it something that we? And like I said, here's the question: do we cease to become human when we actually interface and begin to do this? Are we? Because we're almost becoming that now. Do you
know? Right now, I think it's mainly the Eastern countries, Japan, North Korea, South Korea. They have a major porn addiction. But anyways, they have, how do I describe this? Stadiums set up where you can go and watch people play video games.
Oh, they do that here. They did it at T-Mobile Center here, remember?
No, I don't remember that at all.
They've done that at T-Mobile Center.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, they've actually done it at T-Mobile here. Vegas has done that.
That is crazy.
I think it's stupid.
It is so stupid.
So I'm going to go watch a guy play football
on a
video
screen
game, and I'm going to sit in the audience
and pay to be there.
Yes. No. They've done that at T-Mobile more than once, I think. They've done it. I know they've done it at least once, but they did it.
And they're introducing it to the Olympics.
It's sold out here at T-Mobile Center. The tickets were extreme, and it's sold out. Now, where is society going where we're sitting there watching people play a video game rather than actually play something for real?
Well, that brings up, I mean, the whole thing with the sex, the pornography. We're watching somebody do it, and we're getting them up more aroused from that than actually
doing it ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I see this,
and the thing about it is it's addictive. It's like because when you get this, being involved in AA and stuff like that and everything you do, but when someone's addicted to something, they don't really have control over that, and so it's just like something that turns on, and then when you have an entire generation addicted to this type of stuff, it can really, really...
it's interesting. My generation, I remember years ago when texting and all this started, and we saw this coming 20 years ago. And we used to say, I remember saying this, nobody's going to have to talk to anybody pretty soon. We just text everything. It's getting to a point where you almost don't even have to talk to do... I mean, people aren't talking for sex. They're not talking for video games. They sit online. They type everything. It's on Facebook. Your entire life is on Facebook, but it's not you. It's whatever you're portraying you want it to be.
There's this
in a text. It's all in text.
There's this video that came out a couple years ago, and it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. It came out, and it was this guy, and he was talking about social media and the damages it does to our society and stuff like that. And he goes, you won't remember any of this. He says, you won't remember, the look she gave you when you gave her, the ring, or the look you gave your little girl, and he just goes on throughout this entire guy's life. And he says, because none of this ever happened. And then it flashes by, and it shows this guy looking down at his cell phone, and he's typing in the middle of a street or whatever. And then it shows a guy looking up, and he's asking for directions for a map, and there's this girl that he asks for the directions, and that's where the entire dialogue of the whole thing starts. But if he's looking down, she just walks right by. And so, in this entire life that he could have had, he missed
because he was looking down.
And it was just like...
It was so true today. We're so involved with
I mean, I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it.
Yeah, we are cyborgs with our phone, basically, is what Elon was pointing out. And
so why can't we be a cyborg with something else? Is mainly his argument.
Yeah, that's just it. But here's the key to that. In order to get to that point, and what he's working on, he had to take a fatalistic point of view to come up with that. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't catch that. When you really look at the way he is, with AI, he had to look at it as a fatalistic point of view. And so now he has to look at it as a way to combat AI for the human versus, accepting it or dealing with it or whatever maybe. So now we're combating it and becoming at war with it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So now do we cease to become human at that point in time when we meld with these machines? And I mean, I always look at this. As I sat and studied this the last couple of weeks, as I sat and he did this podcast and looked at it. I'm like, I had to look at it because I read the Bible all the time. I read my Bible. Where does this fit in? I mean, it was just like, is the
mark of the beast?
I actually read that as a comment one time. It's like, this is the mark of the beast. Because you no longer become yourself. You're worshiping knowledge. You're worshiping something else. We no longer are human at that point. We're basically becoming self-destructive to ourselves. So
right.
I don't know, man. This is all wild stuff.
Before we end, though, I mean, you look at. I mean, every Christian can agree with, Christ is who we're supposed to model ourselves after.
Yeah.
After. He lived a very simple life.
Yeah.
He did. He wasn't.
I don't think he would have melded with a machine.
No.
Of course, he had all the knowledge he wanted anyway.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, yeah, he lived very, and he modeled that and saying you don't really need.
Yeah, you don't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I this. I walked across Europe 5 years ago, and one of the things that intrigued me about that too was I read and I still love to do this walk. I read a story of a guy that did a walk he did the Pacific Coast Trail, the PCT. He did it all the way from Mexico to Canada, the entire trail. And one sweep.
All the way up Highway 1?
All the way up. It's not highway. No, no, it runs through the mountains.
Okay.
PCT goes all the way through the mountains, the Central Mountains in California. And then through Oregon or Idaho and all the way up. But he did this all the way up. And at the end, he started with his backpack, and he had, his tent. He had his sleeping bags. He's got books. He's got all this stuff. There's a movie on that. What's her name did it? This movie on it. And she kind of did the same thing in the movie. She portrayed this in it. Well, partway through, he's realizing, he's like, do I really need all this crap that I'm carrying?
Yeah.
So he's shedding stuff as he's going. And at the end, he actually, he was sleeping on the ground. He basically had a cover up, a blanket. Tent was gone. Realized he didn't actually have to have a tent to survive. In the environment he was in, he didn't have to have it. He had a blanket cover up. He had very simple clothes, shorts, whatever he needed. Didn't need all these extra pairs of everything that he had. All the books were gone. All this stuff's gone. His toothbrush, he had taken his toothbrush and cut it down to save weight and filed in the toothbrush to make it shaped like a fork, the handle. So he can use his toothbrush as a fork just to save that few ounces of what he's carrying.
Yeah.
And at the end, when he finished, his picture at the end to represent this, you're thinking you're going to get to the end of the PCT, it's done, there's going to be like a band, all these people are going to be cheering, it's going to be a party. I mean, shit, I just hiked 2,000 miles, where's all these people for me? He gets to the end, it's a sign. You just finished the PTC, or PCT, sign here, That was it.
Yeah.
He took a picture next to that. He stripped down buck naked, took his coffee cup, put it over his junk, and then took a picture. And that picture represents to him how little you really need in life. Yeah. And what was interesting is I thought about that story as I walked across Europe. When I walked across Europe, I brought two, I'm thinking, the Survivor mode, the show Survivor. They always bring that one item, my one item. This is what I want for my bonus item, or whatever it is they call it on the show, right? So I brought a chair. I literally brought a fucking chair attached to my backpack. Now, it's the REI super light. It's like 6-ounce chair, whatever the hell it is.
Whatever the heck.
Yeah, and I brought a sandal and, some sandals and I can put on later on some of my shoes. I had shower sandals and then I had some hiking sandals. So I'm partway through. I'm about 200 miles in across Europe, and I decide, why do I have all this crap? I've used this chair once.
Right.
The entire time. In fact, I used it only as I haven't used this damn thing. I think I need to get it out and use it. I didn't even have to use it that day.
Right.
I just happened to use it. So I'm sitting there eating a sandwich in the middle of this forest. And I remember these French guys walking by me because they were hiking too. I remember these French guys walking by me. They're like, bon appetit. And then they're laughing because I'm sitting in a chair. It's like you're in the middle of nowhere and I'm in a chair eating my sandwich.
Yeah.
And I realized, why do I have this? Why am I bringing this? So I threw it in a box. I threw my sandals in a box. The sandals were kind of heavy, my hiking sandals. I threw those in a box, threw a couple other items in there, and I mailed them home. It lightened my backpack up so much. And I realized that I didn't need all the crap I had. I didn't, why do I have, we're so materialistic here. I mean, it's a whole other subject, but we're so materialistic that, man, it was so simple walking across there. I'd have one of these pretty much every day. I'd have my shandy. Didn't get my beer up, so I'd have my shandy. I'd hike. I washed my clothes every day. I had one pair of clothes that I wore, and then one for the next day, just for drying purposes. Because I would wash the ones I was wearing, and then they usually took a while to dry because it was very humid there. So it would take a couple days to actually dry. I'd hang them on my backpack as I'm walking. And then the ones that I did the day before, that's what I wore that next day. So I had like 2 pairs of clothes that I would recycle through. And I did that for a month and a half. Just the same every other day. You're just wearing the same pair of clothes every other day. Because you're carrying them with you.
Right.
So you realize how little you really need to live and be happy. And I enjoyed myself every day. Met great people, great relationships, still friends with these people today. You know, it's amazing how, I don't know, society has drastically changed. Wait till we become cyborgs and have to have everything.
All right, so you're going to rate this beer?
Yeah, you about ready?
Yeah.
Do you finish yours?
Almost.
Finish your big fucking, what I call this? It's a big fucking deal.
I'll give it a... probably like a 2.
You're going to go full 2?
No.
You can if you want, dude. We have never rated one a full 2.
No.
If this is like an awesome beer, you can rate it a 2.
No, I'm not going to rate it a 2. I'm going to do 1.25. That's what I'm
Oh, wait a minute. You're going from 2 to 1.25.
Yeah, because I thought 5. I thought 5 was our mark.
No, remember, it's 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
Or anywhere in between. And then what we do is we combine the 2.
Okay, no, 1.25.
So our top is would be 4.
Okay, all right, no.
Actually, I'm going to rate this as an ale because for what it is, I'm going to go 1.5.
Okay, so 1.5 for both.
1.5.
So I'm
1.5 on both of them.
I did 1.5 for the last one for this guy right here, and then 1.25 for this guy right here.
So a little bit stronger. It's pretty hoppy for an ale. A lot of ales.
Has a lot of bite.
Yeah, that hops kind of biting you in the end. It's kind of like an IPA, where it's biting you like an IPA. So somebody argued probably over that, like it says on the can here. It says they argue over shit. So should actually say that we argue over shit. But anyway, it's operated and argued over. So I would imagine they probably argued over the amount of hops that they're putting in this damn thing.
Yeah.
So because it is a big fucking deal.
Right.
No, I'm going to go 1.5 on both.
Okay.
For what it is as an ale, I'm rating this one as an ale. I'm not big into
fruity beer.
The fruity sour type beers.
Yeah.
But this one would make a great summer beer.
Okay.
I do think it would.
Yep, so do I. I completely agree with you on that. And that one's more kind of like a woody type of campfire type of stuff.
Yes. Yeah. You know what this would be good for? With whiskey.
Oh. Yeah.
This, and you're drinking a whiskey with it. This
golden.
Yeah.
Or you chase the whiskey with that.
This would be good with a nice steak too.
Okay.
I
can see that.
I would pair this with steak.
Yeah.
I would pair this with chicken or fish. Steak.
Red wine,
fish.
white wine.
Yeah, white wine, red wine. So that's the way I kind of look at the two. So. Yeah. We rated a couple of beers tonight. We talked a lot about cyborgs.
Yeah, we did. It was a good conversation, I thought.
So, a little bit about Elon Musk.
Yeah.
My son actually works for the guy.
Yeah.
So, that's how I kind of I've kind of looked to see what he's about and stuff since he works for him.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting to find out what the dude's really about. So, anyway, guys, we're a little over an hour. We're not too bad. We're only going an hour and a half tonight. We went almost 2 last week, by the way. I don't know if you heard the whole show. We went.
No,
I know you heard part of it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. I'll plug in when you catch us on this show. If you watch it on YouTube, what I'll do is I'll put a plug at the end of it to link it to the last show too.
Okay.
So if you want to link one to the next, we can do that on YouTube now. Be sure to subscribe. I want to say to be sure to subscribe. Subscribe button is right down there somewhere. Yeah, right in here. You'll see a subscribe button. So be sure to subscribe to us. We didn't talk about this much tonight, but go to our Patreon account if you would. Yep. We donate the money. We'd love to have you donate. You can, if you actually sign up on Patreon, I haven't talked about this in a while, we can actually set you up as a live caller in here to receive special shows, stuff like that. We do other videos sometimes too. I do videos sometimes. Mike does videos live, and we'll send those to you, separate ones. Sometimes you'll catch me hanging out at a bar. Lincoln, drinking some beers. Mike's done it too. And I'll be rating beers, different ones at a bar. There's one I go to here, of it, Parkway Tavern.
Parkway Tavern.
Where they actually give you bonuses for drinking a different beer all the time. So I like to try different beers. So we'll do that. Also, don't forget our space station to brew holy water.
Holy water. Holy beer.
Woo! So, no, it's not beer.
Oh, it's holy water,
It's holy water that tastes like beer. So So if you would, you can donate to that. We donate everything. In fact, if we get one of you that wants to donate enough for the space station to actually build it, I will get a hold somehow. I don't know how, but I will get a hold of Elon Musk. That's my idea. If you donate enough for this thing, we got to get a hold of Elon Musk because see, we build a space station, and he's got the rockets, SpaceX. So he can do the rockets to the space station for us to brew the holy water. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, guys, want to have a great night. Be good to everybody out there. Do something great this week. Do something good for somebody else that you don't know. You know, help a homeless person.
Right.
Give them some money. Buy them a food. Buy them a gift certificate. Do something. Pay a toll for somebody, but do something good. Okay, anything else you want to close out with?
No, sir.
All right, guys. Matt. I'm Jeff. Everyone out there, make it a great week.
All right, we're beer drinkers with a Bible fetish.
Have a good night.